made you guys a top priority this wonderful Friday morning TGIF, where we're going to sit back and chat and get reacquainted with one another. It's been a little while. And Bullhorn Betty is going to be leaving here in a few days to head to Tennessee to see her fate. Is Betty going to jail? Or is she going to fly away? Is she? I don't know. I can guarantee I'm not going to jail. I just realized from all that stuff, I got like bruises all over me. By the way, I run on Coffee and True Crime. This is our Clarissa shirt. Big shout out to Clarissa. Thank you for the shirt. I always love the shirt. It is nice to see you, Holly, Sweet Tea, and Sunflowers. Dawn, it's nice to see you. We're just kind of shooting the breeze over here. Oh, Barefoot Nanny, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well today. I got my little boo-boo right here next to me. Everywhere, it's so funny. I was playing with her the other day. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Tracy. And so she now knows how to jump up on the couch. And so she'd jump up on the couch and I'd pick her up and throw her on her bed, and she'd turn around and jump back on the couch and I'd throw her on her bed, and she'd turn around and jump back on the couch. We were having fun like that for like a half hour. She was eating it up. Good morning, Truth in Time. SRK, Sam, I am. It's nice to see you, my love. We haven't been on this channel in a while, and this is kind of our chat and chill channel, so I figured I'd come and say hi to you all this beautiful Friday. TGIF, 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 TGIF. I just got done doing a live on TikTok. I'm in the process of downloading. Hey, SRK, Tony, Metal Ass, it's nice to see you. Stormy, it's nice to see you as well. I hope everybody's doing well today. We're just kind of shooting the breeze. Barbosa, good morning. Good morning. I really don't have a lot to say, and I don't want to repeat of everything. Oh, hey, Karen, it's nice to see you. I don't want to repeat of, the TikTok, because then it doesn't make the TikTok as good. Salty Mama, or Salty Ma'am. Salty Ma'am, it's nice to see you, my loves. It's nice to see you. Second Thesis is up in the house. Hey. So listen to this. This is kind of, it's not really drama. It's just hate news, right? It's part of the pay rage, right? The pay rage. And so I was listening. Some people clipped some stuff and sent it to me, and we've got Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there on TikTok trying to cancel Bullhorn Betty. Hashtag cancel Betty. Hashtag cancel Betty. Like, I'm advocating for a 15-year-old boy. Just because you look like idiots and I tell people you're idiots doesn't mean you get a right to cancel me. Good gracious. I didn't even try to cancel them. But they're making their own bed, I guess, and I guess they're going to have to lay in it. Stupid stuff. They have no sense whatsoever. They do not. They do not. So I'm trying to, you guys know, like the big kind of breaking stuff, and I think we're going to kind of dive into it a little bit more, is the shoes. The shoes. That was kind of breaking a little bit. We found out a couple things. So we applied Jessica Danielle's timeline of the first 11 hours. There may be some stuff that might be off. I don't know. The reason why I don't know is because Seth believes he was the one that realized the shoes were all there. And we have, it appears that right before 8 a.m., according to the 11-hour record, that right before 8 a.m., it appears that they were at that point searching for No Shoe Kid. So we're trying to find out, was that timing, was it off an hour or, whatever, because Jessica's in Canada, and I got to think that she's on a different time zone than this particular Tennessee thing. And she got almost everything, else, but we just wanted some clarification on that. And I don't know the answer. We know that he found the shoes and noticed the shoes immediately when he walked in, that all the shoes were there, which was very odd for him. And he immediately started thinking that that's not right, that all the shoes are there. Hey, Shelly. Veronica, it's nice to see you. Sadie. Unicorn, good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're doing better. Alfig, good morning. Prayers for everybody affected by the hurricane. God bless all of you. Oh, absolutely. That's devastating. That hurricane went through multiple states, causing catastrophic damages and fatalities. I knew once it hit that category 4. Category 3 is pretty significant. But when you get in, you wouldn't believe it, but that category 4, and not only that, but this storm was massive. Like the diameter of the storm was a very large storm. And not only that, it was moving 24 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. So you have the storm moving in. It's like a concrete wall blazing toward entire cities at 24 miles an hour. It's crazy. This was a very massive, strong storm. I can tell you here, we got a lot of wind damage, not so much rain inland. Now, our beaches, we can't, our citizens can't get out to the beaches. The only way you can get out to the beaches is if you live there. The beaches literally had storm surge. We have the beach on our roads. We have like a foot of sand on our roads. It brought the whole entire beach. I mean, I can't express it other than the beach is in the road. It's literally got to be bulldozed back to the beach. There's no place to drive. It's all sand. It's all sand. And we didn't get a direct hit at all. And, you know, I got a down tree, which reminds me, I got to get out there and get what I can, the light limbs and stuff out to the front. I got a huge pile in the front of my house of debris from the hurricane. I finally threw the fence, the fallen fence is out there. The gutters that are mangled all to hell are out there. You know, other decorative stuff that came out, you know, is out there. I'm going to end up doing, here in Manatee County, we get like 1 year of a large call. That means that they'll come out once a year and do a free large pickup. That means I can litter like my front yard with garbage and just call them in, and they'll come pick it up with like this claw. Like I don't even need to bag it. It's just, they use like a claw thing and throw it into their stuff. And so long story short, I'm getting everything out to the road, and now I just need to go out there and get all the branches. I may have to call somebody to help me, because one of those branches are really long and I got no way of cutting. Well, I do have a way of cutting it up, don't I? I do have a way of cutting it up. So I forgot I had the chainsaw, because I found out I had a chainsaw that just needs to be, the chain needs to be put on it out there in the shed, because when the hurricane came, it knocked one of my shelves onto my riding lawnmower, and on the top of that shelf apparently was a chainsaw. And it fell literally in front of me saying, "Hey, you have a chainsaw. Pick me up and use me." For the people that were affected, yes, it was bad. I'm in Illinois and we don't have hurricanes. Can't imagine what it's like. Tornadoes are bad enough. I can't believe that people aren't allowed to bring help in. Oh, we have a lot of help coming in. Hurricanes, to me, to be honest with you, are less scary than tornadoes. To be honest, they really are. A lot of people, especially people that move here from other states, get freaked out by hurricanes, but they buy brand new houses, and it's like they put themselves the whole purpose of buying a house that stands up to hurricane winds is so that you can stay inside that home when a hurricane comes. Okay? It's supposed to eliminate people getting on the roads and putting themselves in jeopardy. Think about it like this. How many people left the state of Florida and went to Georgia, North Carolina, or Tennessee and got the worst part of the storm because they left their home? I'm one of those people that I've learned over the years, sometimes the best course of action is just to stay put. You know, especially if you're not on the water, if you're not on the beaches and you're inland, you deal with flooding. So what? So what? Flooding and power outages. So what? Let the storm come. Once the storm goes, when when you have no power and stuff, then you leave. At that time is when you leave. But why would you put yourself on in jeopardy and get on the roads and clog up the roads when you're in a house that can sustain 155-mile-an-hour winds? You see what I'm saying? Like, people aren't, like, even this house that I live in wasn't built, you know, they didn't have building, you know, hurricane grade houses back in 1962. But what makes me feel comfortable in this house during hurricanes is this house has been up since 1962. How many hurricanes has this house gone through? And I can tell you it's got its original freaking ceiling. So that's what makes me feel confident of staying inside this home whenever a hurricane comes, because I feel like it's already proved itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still here. We've had a lot of hurricanes since 1962. Okay, you're rock solid. Got it. Okay. I'm 53. I live in Illinois my whole life, and I'm so done with winter. I hear you. You know what's so funny is I was talking to Olivia, you know, and she's freaking out because Holmes Beach was her home, and you know, there was a lot of damage on Holmes Beach. And so she feels like she was very lucky for moving to North Carolina when she did. And I have to agree, that was, you know, the Holmes Beach, we've went through a lot of hurricanes and they've never been hurt like this. I mean, this was really bad for our area. And so she's kind of freaking out because this was her home. You know, she sees the sand on the roadways. She sees all the windows busted into some of the favorite, you know, restaurants and places she enjoyed going. And it's very heartbreaking. She's a very sensitive, you know, very sensitive young lady. And so, you know, she was very attached to the area, and seeing that just broke her heart, but she's very glad she left. I'm very concerned, you know, what would have been if she stayed. But anyway, she was very thankful for that, and she said, "Oh, we love it here." I said, "Well, you know, this is the first time. I just don't see Mom, you know, surviving without being surrounded by water, because her mom came from Cuba." And from Cuba went to, I can't remember what island that they lived off of in Washington State. It was like diagonal from, she's told me the name of it, but it's diagonal from the, you know, that landmark, the space, whatever, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. The one that looks like a spaceship. You guys know what I'm talking about. She lived like directly across there on some type of island. And so, you know, her mom's always been surrounded by water. And even when they left Washington State and came here to Florida, they went to Holmes Beach, again, around water. And so this is the first time that they've been in mountains. And she's like, oh, Mom's loving it. And I said, well, you're about to get your first winter. You're about to get your first winter. We'll see what you guys say after your first winter. I have a funny feeling when Olivia's got to be out there shoveling snow at the Space Needle. Thank you, Auntie. When she has to go out there and shovel her first round of snow from the snowstorms, I think she might want to be back in Florida. Just my opinion. I know Olivia, okay? Me and her practically lived together for 2 years on the road, you know? And I can tell you, I have a good, you know, finger on the pulse when it comes to her and Mom. And I've just never known Mom to be away from water. But they do love hiking and they love the mountains. And I feel like this will be a great break for them. But no matter what, I've always, in the pit of my stomach, always believed Olivia's coming back to Florida. I just have this weird feeling she's coming back to Florida at some point. Hey, Ruby Jean. Oh, Sonia, our beautiful Sonia is up in the house today. It's nice to see you. Nani, Mickey Shell, it's nice to see you. We're just kind of having a casual conversation over here, just kind of shooting the breeze while I'm waiting for my my TikTok to download. I gotta download that. Snow stinks. Give me the warmth and the sunny day. I tell you, you know, this has been my home for 45 years, and trust me, there's been many a times that I have said I'm ready to blow this popsicle stand and see a different part of the world. And it's just like, but if I go here, then am I going to have to deal with this? And I'm going to be out of my element. You know, it's just so hard. It's so hard. Aren't you afraid of each passing storm your home becomes weaker? No, it's concrete block. It's concrete block. And not only that, this house here, it doesn't have the wood from this day and age. If you notice anything, I can tell you this because we had to remove a wall in here. I had what was known as dade pine. This pine is so hard and so heavy that I don't have to worry about termites. The wood's so hard, termites won't even eat it. When we had to shorten the wall and reconstruct it, you take the old wood that was in here and the new wood that they're selling on the shelf. I mean, it's like the wood that's in this house is so dense and so heavy compared to a 2x4 made this day and age, filled with God knows what to make it a 2x4. It's not a full piece of wood, I will tell you that. I don't know where they're getting their wood from now, but it's not dade pine. And the dade pine that's in this house is freaking solid as a rock. And let me put it in perspective. When we needed to take a wall down, it wasn't cutting. The Sawzall wouldn't cut through the wood. You heard me correctly. A Sawzall would not cut through the wood. We had to take a sledgehammer to break the wood out of the wall. I don't know what they used back in the day, or if it just petrified in the wall all these years. I don't know. But no, I don't think it's weaker at all. And especially now that I got a brand new roof put on top, I think this is a pretty sound house. The only thing I have to worry about, and the only thing I worried about even with Irma, was my thresholds. I seal my thresholds, but with the pressure of the hurricanes and the windows, you know, the doors don't just sit there. I mean, they move just ever so slightly. And the wind and the pressure actually breaks the seal on the threshold, and the rain, as it's hitting against the wall, kind of comes up under that threshold just a little bit. But I don't have water, you know, coming up the yard to the door. I just have the rain slamming against the doors and it getting up under the, you know, the threshold a little bit and doing damage at the front and back doors. But I haven't even been flooded over here. I mean, we have wind damage, and yeah, I've had wind damage. I just drug a fence out to the front yard, and we've had to replace this roof. That's all from wind damage from Irma. I'm surprised we fared so well with Ian being one of the most destructive hurricanes. And believe it or not, Irma was much, much smaller, definitely not a direct hit, and we got more flooding with Irma than we did with Ian, which was a much more powerful hurricane. So, hey Kendra, it's nice to see you, Lady 7 Up, our beautiful real me too. Just me. It's nice to see you. My home was built in 1800s, built sturdy. They don't make them like that anymore. They don't. They don't make anything like they used to. They used to make things built to last back in the day. They didn't want to have to rebuild anything. They made it built to last. Like even the cars, those things would have ran and ran and ran and ran. Yeah, they sucked a lot of gas, but doesn't matter. I mean, those cars ran. You know, they were full steel bodies. You got in a wreck, you barely dented your body. Nowadays, they make the cars fall all apart and cause major damage and try to say, it's for your safety. We make the cars just fall apart nowadays for your safety. Automobiles are like tanks back. They were. And they were almost indestructible. And nowadays they make it, like I said, they make them fall apart, and they say, "Oh, it's for your safety." Now it's for pocketbooks. It's for it's it's government manipulation at the finest. It literally is. Like even our all the stuff, the world's going to end if we don't take action now. The ozone is going to eat us all alive, and so they raised our taxes for that. Never did anything with it except pocket the money. The whole global warming. They've taxed the crap out of us for global warming and still haven't done anything with it. Like they manipulate us so much for money. And I think the cars and stuff like that are much of the same. Cars used to be indestructible. Now you get into a fender bender and your car's totaled. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Bring back the steel. Bring back the steel and the 7 miles per gallon. Just saying. Yeah, cars nowadays, you hit a leaf, a piece of bubble gum, your car is falling apart. Exactly. It's crazy. Oh, well, we got a great frame. Nobody gives a damn about that frame. They care about the exterior of the car. We want solid. We want indestructible. Oh, it's so funny. What does it say? Hold on, what does lady said? We are dealing with now. We just put new transmission in our car 3 months. Oh my gosh, I would die having to replace a transmission. I would die having, like, transmissions and engines are freaking expensive. Oh, which reminds me, guys, I need you guys to do me a favor. I don't want to tell you guys what it's about. It's not my place to tell. 90,000 for a lemon these days. Yeah. Ugh. But I need you guys to do me a favor, and this is, I don't want to tell you what's going on, but I want you guys to say a prayer for Seth today. And it's, he's dealing with his son, but there's also something else going on in his life. And so I really hope you guys can put some prayer hands in the chat and just say a prayer for whatever Seth is going through, that God is there to make it better for him, that he's going to make a path forward for this particular situation, and that he's going to guide him and keep him safe and everything. So if you guys could please this Friday throughout the day, just say a prayer for Seth. And we are saying prayers for him all the time, but it's for him to find his son. There's something else going on that I feel like he really needs prayers, that he gets positive results, that he gets a good outcome in this particular situation he's dealing with, and that it's not going to cost him an arm and a leg to deal with it. And we're just praying and putting this on the feet of Jesus, and just really trying to help him, even in our spiritual ways of helping, right? So we already know he's dealing with enough with his son. To even add one more thing to his plate of crap is almost unbearable. So he does have something that's major that's hit his plate of already crap, and we need to pray for that situation for him. We need to put our hands on him and really give it for him. And if you guys have a moment today to hit your knees or say a prayer for him, please keep him in your prayers, not just for Sebastian, but for his other issues that he's dealing with. Just pray that he gets good outcomes. He gets a good outcome. He deserves to have a good outcome. With all the bad stuff he's had to deal with for the last 7 months, he needs to have a good outcome. He needs to have it today. He needs to have it soon. He needs to have just a win in a box for once, And so that's what we're praying for today. I wish I didn't have to be so cryptic or whatever, but it's not my place to say. I just know that he has a lot on his plate. And if we can relieve any of that with prayer, then if that's what we can do, that's what we can do. So I appreciate all of you guys. We're going to be going live. It's been hard because I've been trying to go live, and we're trying to make sure that we all work together for the ones that are here for Sebastian. And so I'm trying to still figure out what a good schedule for me is. and trying to keep you guys up to date. I would like to start, and it's not to take any focus off Sebastian Wainwright Rogers, because you guys, that no matter what, I'm with it. But this one is not going to require any investigative work of any kind, because the person's already in jail. We already know it. It's going to be more of updates and commentary more than anything. But this whole sheriff and judge, Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins in Kentucky, in Letcher, Kentucky, it's really interesting, and I would like to find out why the sheriff shot the judge. And so, like I said, it's not something that's going to take a lot of my resources away from Sebastian Wainwright Rogers, because we know what happened. We know the sheriff shot the judge, so the mystery is already gone. Okay, but there's the mystery related to the reason I want to keep us all updated on. So I will probably do one video or one live stream a day giving an update, or every other day giving an update, or any information that we learn about the sheriff and the judge. Even though it's, again, not an investigative, which right now with Sebastian, we couldn't take on another investigative case because this one's consuming us so much. But this is one that really has my attention. And because the sheriff's daughter was in the judge's phone, it's like, I want to know what the heck's going on here. What's going on in that little county, right? So I'd like to just do a couple of little segments on there, keeping everybody up to date on the facts of that case and as they're developing. So hopefully you guys will support that. It won't be very much. We're going to keep this to Sebastian Wainwright Rogers until we make some good headways and start getting some new information coming to light in his case. But it is this whole judge and sheriff thing has got me absolutely perplexed. Like, it just seemed like something more is going on there, and we can kind of deduct that it sounds like maybe, possibly, now we don't have the information, so I don't want to spread misinformation, but it does appear that it may be leaning toward the judge having inappropriate relations with the sheriff's underage daughter. I mean, that literally is the only thing that I can think of. Or the judge was seeing the sheriff's wife. Something to that effect. But I really believe it has something to do with the underage daughter. And so that is really what is making me kind of cue in, because if there's any abuses from a judge that justify why the sheriff did that, I don't think anybody has a right to take the life. But we also know country fathers are a little different than anybody else, and their daughters are very, very important to them, and their daughters being protected from growing up too quick is definitely in that realm of a father pulling out and unaliving somebody if they think they abused their girl. It happens so quickly from the time the phone, something bad had to be on that phone. And that's what I keep saying to myself. That's something, he wasn't playing. So we'll figure out what's going on with that. But anyways, I hope you guys do support me with a little bit. It's a little suspicious to me on why the judge would have the sheriff's daughter's phone number in his phone. Yeah, exactly. It seems very inappropriate. I can understand if they had children and she was a babysitter and she had his number and his wife's number and stuff like that, would be reasonable. But I heard this through rumor. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that the sheriff actually read some excerpts out of his daughter's diary that allegedly said some things about the judge, and I think that's why he demanded the judge's phone, is he wanted to see if those were true. And when he saw his daughter's number, or potentially a text message from his daughter, sounds like he lost his stuff. that split second, that rage that came over him. If the judge was being inappropriate with the sheriff's daughter, then I can fully believe he had a momentary mental break and lost. Absolutely. Things like that do happen. That is real, you know. That is real. But there were better ways of handling the situation. Bringing somebody else into that room to witness the conversation. There were other remedies besides this. This is bad. The sheriff has ruined his future, even if he is found not guilty of this crime. You know, he'll never be sheriff again. No matter how you look at this, I don't think he'll ever redeem his stellar reputation he had before this. And that's a shame. But I do think we do need to give, and I don't say this lightly, but I feel like we do need to give the sheriff the benefit of the doubt until we know what's going on, because we don't know how bad it is. We don't know what happened. We don't know how long it's been going on. If there is some type of inappropriate behavior between the judge and the sheriff's daughter. I think we, before pointing the fingers and reaching an opinion on this, I think we at this juncture we need to listen to what happened. You know, it sounded like these two people were friends. I can't imagine, even with the whole court saying and them sitting out, it wasn't really affecting the sheriff that much. He had to fire he was being sued, but he, you know, really wasn't affecting his position all that much that I could see. I mean, of course, it's always uncomfortable being sued and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, everything kind of comes out, and whatever happens just happens. It's not a life or death situation. But it did sound like an officer of Stein's was inappropriate with women in Mullen's office. But why would somebody feel comfortable to be doing that act in a judge's chambers? Unless maybe the judge gave him permission, or the judge was aware, or the judge was engaging in the same type of behavior, you know? Jolly Roger Magnet. I don't know what you're saying, Savage. It's a very bad situation. Elfig, good morning. Good morning. I have no idea what you're talking about. Jolly Roger Magnet. Show the Jolly Roger Magnet. I don't know what it is. I feel like you're trying to trigger something, but to be honest with you, I'm too exhausted and too frustrated to be triggered at this moment. So, on your fridge, show the Jolly Roger magnet on my fridge. Do I have a Jolly Roger magnet? I never heard of that before. You're going to have to send me an email and tell me what you're talking about. I'll show it, but I don't know. I've got a whole bunch of magnets on my freaking fridge, but none of them that are anything other than advertisements. Like when I was in insurance, I got 18 million Progressive freaking magnets up there. Good morning. Yes, it's a pirate flag. Pirate flag. Which one do I have that's a pirate flag? I have a pirate flag on it. Oh, my Trumparilla. Are you talking about my Trumparilla one? Are you talking about this one? Is that the one? It's my Trumparilla magnet at Trump Fest. I think that's the only one. That's really the only one that I can think of. All the other places, like I got San Paulo and Las Vegas and Victoria, Canada. Wake me up for the weekend. Destin, Florida. So I don't know which one you're looking for, but that was a Trumparilla magnet. I get those when I order my hats from hugeflags.com, I think is what it is. I think that's the shop. Floor Flying does. It's nice to see you. Thought it was I thought it was a judge. I have two daughters and agree with you. I'd probably unload. Yeah, I mean, if you think your child's being, thanks for the ship has been waiting and waiting. Okay. Yeah, if you think your child's being abused, I can't imagine. I can't imagine how a father would feel. I mean, because to be honest with you, country fathers don't want to ever think their girls are growing up. I can tell you that, and they fight it tooth and nail. They don't want to know about girly business. They don't want to know none of it. They don't want to know none of it. And they absolutely want you to be as pure as the driven snow until the day that you're married. I can tell you that. I know country dads, okay? I know country dads. So if something happened, I can imagine that he would be highly upset, as any parent would be. So I just think we need to follow that. I would like to dive into that case, just ever not deep dive, but definitely like to keep an idea of what's going on in that case. It's definitely got my attention because I couldn't understand. You know, everybody at first was saying it was because the guy was deposed, and I'm like, that's a really strong response to a deposition, you know. And then it wasn't until the preliminary hearing that we realized that he had the judge's phone and something was on that judge's phone that should not have been on that phone before he pulled his gun out. And that's got me curious. So I'm curious as to what this judge did, you know. There was obviously we're learning that there was some family problems behind the scene in the judge's house. The wife, it sounds like he had multiple affairs. The wife was over it and going to be divorcing the judge. I don't know if they had already separated or not, but you know, even if they have their own internal problems, they were together for a long time. They have their children together. His wife that's who you heard in that courtroom sobbing, was Judge Mullen's wife. And even though, again, like I said, when my cousin Ty died, and he was my cousin by marriage because he married my cousin Tammy, and they had been divorced. You know, my cousin was seeing another man, had her boyfriend live in with him when Ty died, and I can tell you, my cousin was in bed for days crying because no matter whether you're divorced and not together again, especially if you got children, you still love that person. You still, even though you had your personal fights with them, you never wanted any harm to come to them. And even the loss of them not being there, not being able to argue with you over your children or something like that, it's very difficult. You always think you have tomorrow, and sometimes you just don't. You just don't. So you should really live each and every day like tomorrow's not going to be here, you know. In some sense, it may not for some of us. So, anyways, guys, not to get on want to leave on an upbeat. I didn't put Delilah in her dress yet, but by the time we come back from the live on the main channel, I'll have her in a cute little dress. She's adorable. You want to say hi, Delilah? You want to say hi to everybody? You want to say hi? Come say hi to everybody. Come say hi. Come on, say hi. Come on, get up. Get up. Get up. I can't lift you because I gotta have to keep one hand on. I'm sorry, I gotta keep one hand. There we go. Say hi. My mommy doesn't have me right, and she's making me very uncomfortable. Oh, she still licks me. Hey, little baby. Hey, little baby. See, I can't wait to get my dress on. Okay, no, maybe not. She doesn't want the dress. No, I'm just joking. So she's been ultra sweet, and we got to get her packed up in a few days. She's got to go to grandma's house so I can go to Tennessee and go to jail. Just joking. They're not throwing me in jail. I did nothing wrong, okay? I did nothing wrong. But we are going to bring the signs. And just in case, we want justice sign. If you see something, say something. We're still going to be advocating for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Our advocation for him will not stop because I want to make sure out of everything that the whole entire world and audience knows that the step parent and the mom's story is BS. Is BS. Because it's BS. They've changed it too many times. They changed it too many times, and we're not stupid. So, anyways, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another. Unless you're a troll, we whack trolls. We whack trolls. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. This channel, Bullhorn Betty. All right, guys, I love you. Rock it out. We'll see you soon on the. I'm gonna be dropping a video, my live from TikTok. We'll do that as a premiere so we can chat in the chat together. And then later this afternoon, I'll do a live. We're going to be doing a live. We're going down the same. It's going to be on the computer. It's going to be on StreamYard where I can share my screen. And we're going to be going through some more interviews and finding out what was in the news at the time that they started talking on these interviews, and just see what was going out, get a lay of the land as these things are coming apart. Because to be honest with you, we were seeing them in real time, but at the beginning when we were watching this in real time, we don't have all the information we have now. So far we are, I mean, from us not having anything about the stepdad's schedule to us now having he arrived at work at 6:30 and was booted at 11, that's a starting point. That's a starting point we can build. That is at least some numbers we can work with and start figuring out where he could have been in that time that we have no idea what he was doing. We still heard that he was working on a car the day before. We still are trying in the process of locating whose car he was working on. If you know who that individual is, or you are that individual, and you would like to tell me your story, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you know the person, please pass this on. I will keep them confidential. They will not become a spectacle. I will not even breathe their name. I just need validation, receipts, and their story. And that's all I need. So if you know who that person is, please have them reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I do appreciate it all. See you soon. See you on the flip side. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Bye-bye.